1,000 Words podcast. Join us as we discuss the antics of pro athletes, sports politics, and everything in between. No sport nor athlete is off limits. Now, get you a pitcher of wine and enjoy the show. Here are your hosts, Lene and Linnell Fletcher, aka the Fletcher Twins. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of A Pitcher is Worth 1,000 Words podcast. This your girl Nelly Nell.
And this your girl Nay.
That's right. And today or this week, we have a special guest on our episode. We have Chelsea Phillips. Say hi, Chelsea.
Hey.
Hey.
Thank you so much for coming on. And first, before we get started, I just want to know, how was your Easter weekend and how is your week going so far?
Everything was amazing. It's been going great. The only downfall about Easter weekend is a rock hit my windshield. So experiencing a cracked windshield for the first time ever in my life. So that's been a little headache. But besides that, all is well.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
Were you driving or you was driving and it just flew, a rock just flew and hit it? Oh, wow.
I was driving and there was a truck that was carrying like rocks. You know, when you see the tarp and you're like, I should probably stay away from that truck. Well, it was a highway that it was like, I couldn't get around it. So literally like 5 seconds after the thought of me not needing to be behind the truck, the rock hit my windshield. I was like, wow, great way to start my week.
What state are you in?
I'm in Georgia. I'm located in metropolitan Atlanta.
Okay, because I know in Florida, if that happens, we get our windshield fixed for free because it's a lot of trucks that come through here. So
yeah, I need to move to Florida. Georgia does not love us. My insurance does not. They don't care.
That's funny.
That's so funny. This actually, my Easter weekend was pretty decent too. I did a brunch on Sunday, and then afterwards I went to my first car show. So it was called the New York International Auto Show, and I saw all these exotic cars and things like that. And we test rode in one and stuff like that. We was like, "Can we test drive it though?"
Right.
He was like, "No, you can't. No, you can sit in the passenger seat though."
Right.
That's funny. I had a relaxing Easter. Actually, the kids went to their grandparents' house, so I was free, and me and the husband actually got to go on the date for once. So we went out to eat, and that was good for us. They did their Easter egg hunt at the grandma house. They ate, so we were good.
I didn't know y'all went out. Where y'all went?
We just went up the street to Longhorn. Down the street.
Still a date night, so that's perfect.
Okay, Chelsea, because I did a little stalking on your Instagram page.
Okay, what you find, girl? What you find?
You got jobs with an S, careers with an S. So just tell the people what you do and how you got started in sports and your other job.
Okay, perfect. So I am a dualpreneur. And it's kind of like two different ends of the spectrum. So on one end, we have a family business in personal finance. My parents started back in 1980. So we've been around for the past 43 years. I say we have a 43-year winning streak. So that's always fun to talk about. So we deal in life insurance, retirement planning, investments, college savings plans, things like that. And then on the other end of the spectrum, I am a sports publicist. My specialty is the NFL. So I actually work directly with clients. I work directly with players. And I work with some front office staff as well. But I work directly with players to help them get their nonprofits established. And not only that, for brand management, I do social media managing for them. And then I also plan their events for their nonprofits. Luckily, I haven't had to do any crisis management because my players have all been amazing. They stayed out of the way. And one of my most notable achievements as a publicist thus far is in 2020, we got my player nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year, which of course is the highest award off the field in the NFL. So that's what I do. I started my family business. Well, I was born into that, but I got officially licensed in 2015 to work in the family business. And then fast forward 2018, I had a conversation with my friend who plays for the Patriots now. And we've been good friends since college, and he calls me up. Well, I call him just to check on him. You know, he's in the NFL now for a couple of years, worked his way from, not being on the roster, he was an undrafted free agent, to being on the active roster. So I just called to check on him, and he was like, I remember when we were in college, you used to tell me what you wanted to do, like what PR was, because my major was public relations. And he was like, are you still like interested in that? And I was like, yeah. What do you have for me? And he was like, well, I want to do a football camp and I want you to plan it. And so that was the conversation we had in 2018, planned his football camp in 2019, got all my articles of incorporation to officially be a business in 2019, and just kind of been rocking and rolling since then.
Wow.
That's amazing, especially the finance, because I'm in finance. That's why I'm here in New York. I work in finance.
Okay.
But with the family business and the generational pass down, that's so amazing, because a lot of people, especially in our community, need to learn about financial literacy and how to spend money, save money, invest, things like that.
Right.
So that's really cool. And the Walter Payton, that's a big deal, because that's like, and it's nice that you help them with their charities and stuff like that, because some players like just don't know where to start. So
they have no idea where to start. And I actually just touched bases with a friend from college just this week, and he was saying, this is my idea. He's been in the league now since 2017, and he was like, this is my idea. Is it something you can help me with? And I'm like, yes, that is right up my alley. And so they have these ideas, and they just need help executing it. And that's where I come in, kind of as a liaison between the player and the community, or the player and the front office staff. So it's been fun. It's definitely been an adventure so far.
That sounds really good. Were you always interested in the NFL? Like when you were a kid, you watched football?
Yes. So I started to understand the game of football in 7th grade. I started cheering. And I was like, okay, so help me understand what I'm cheering for. Like, I know we get excited when the coach tells us to do this cheer, defense and offense, but I really started to understand the game then. And so I cheered all throughout from 7th grade up until my senior year of high school, where I cheered varsity football and basketball. Basketball was fun. It was exciting, but it was just something about football that was like very interesting. The Friday night lights, like everything was just like, so just like, I don't know, interesting to me. And so growing up in Atlanta, my cousin, she always gets on me for this. She's like, you're supposed to be an Atlanta Falcons fan. But when I started to understand the game of football, Reggie Bush was playing for the Saints. And I was like, I'm a Saints fan, because like, I don't know what to tell you. So I understood the game. I didn't know that I wanted to work directly with athletes until my maybe sophomore or junior year of college. I graduated from Auburn University in Alabama, most famous for Cam Newton and the Natty. But I was working in the athletic complex at that point, and I just remember hearing the students, talking about how amazing these athletes were, and I'm like, y'all, they're human beings. Like, they're extraordinary, especially coming off of a national championship with Cam Newton, like, turning the game around when we played Bama, turning the season around, just like amazingness. But I'm like, they're still human beings, like they still have thoughts, they still have opinions, they still have value they want to add to the community. And so I was working in the athletic complex. I was doing media relations for the football team. And I was like, there's something that like is missing to help the players. I don't really know what it is. And so from building my connections at Auburn and developing those friendships, I was like, okay, let me just see how I can take this degree in PR, my experience working for Auburn Athletics, my experience in social media marketing, doing search engine optimization for my internship, my experience from high school and middle school cheering. I was like, let me just put that in a pot and just see what happens. And, the crock pot kind of spit out an NFL publicist. And, almost 5 years later, here we are.
Nice. That's so funny, because NFL is our favorite sport to watch too. When we were in high school, we were a part of the band, but we were like the dancers. So we had to be there every Friday or whatever. And it was amazing. Those high school years were great.
Right.
Also, we have in common with you that we're from South Florida, but those are not our favorite teams. Like the Dolphins, no. Tampa, no.
No.
My favorite team is the Patriots.
Oh, really? Okay. I spent a
mine-
good time in Boston.
Mine is the Jets. So we're rivals. We've always been rivals. It's insane.
Nice. Okay. Florida, it just has a little bit better weather than Boston. I cannot lie to you. One of my first games when my client was playing for the Patriots was the day before New Year's Eve in 2018. And I was like, why is Gillette Stadium outside? Like, this needs to be an indoor stadium. And then, yeah, it was freezing.
We went there, me and my husband went there a couple years ago when they played Dallas, and it was in November. First of all, we were freezing. First of all, the entire community around the stadium is beautiful. Like, it's like a whole little city by itself.
It is.
But yeah, we were like, why don't, it was raining and it was freezing.
Yeah.
So it was really bad weather-wise.
The cutoff for New England is like September. Like, you better catch the first few games and then watch the rest from home. Like, yeah, it was freezing.
That is so funny. Okay, so thanks for sharing that. So now I'm gonna get into some weekly sports updates, and then we can talk about two stories in sports that deal with some drama, and we want to get your opinion.
Okay.
Okay, so the Dallas Mavericks have been eliminated from the playoffs. Sorry, Luka. Israel Adesanya, I hope I pronounced his last name right, but he beat Alex Pereira in the second round to regain his middleweight title. Tiger Woods withdrew from the Masters because of an injury, but I also heard it was raining the entire weekend too, so that wasn't too safe anyway. Right. But John Ram captured his first Masters title and second major win, so kudos to him.
I saw that. And I don't know why I was watching golf, but I saw that.
Golf is such an interesting thing to watch. Let's just be honest. Like, very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Okay, so the first story I want to talk about is OBJ. So we all know he's a three-time Pro Bowl wide receiver. He agreed to a one-year deal with the Ravens worth up to $18 million with $15 million guaranteed. But with his history of public drama, the Miami airport incident where people thought he was on drugs, but he was just asleep. The boat incident where he went on a boat to Miami before a playoff game. He wore a Richard Mille watch during a game before. Is this a good look for OBJ and the Ravens, you think?
OBJ. I was excited to see. I mean, he's a dynamic player to watch, right?
Yeah.
And so I was excited to see that he signed somewhere, but I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, it's like to separate the player from the personal life, it's like, okay, great. Like, it's going to be great to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, my God, like, okay, you're 30 now, like, put your childish ways behind you. I mean, learn how to communicate. Like, just, I don't know. Like, I don't know. So, I think it'll be exciting to watch him play this season. Hopefully he does not run into injuries.
Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't get injured anymore. I think I will hope that he will be drama free at Baltimore because I wanted him to come to my Jets, like Aaron Rodgers wanted him to come to the Jets. But I thought about it and I was like, New York, he's gonna get in trouble in New York. And plus he was with the Giants before, so he already know the little spots and everything. So Baltimore probably a little more low key, so that's probably good.
I think Baltimore just will accept anybody. They always like accept the drama players. They do. Like, look at Ray Lewis. Wasn't he like on trial for murder before? Like, they just
beat that charge. Don't do that. He beat that charge.
He beat it, but yeah.
On trial.
Yeah. We'll see. I saw that Lamar was really excited.
That's why my next question was going to be, Do you think he is excited because the whole drama with him and his
Yeah.
team? I think
Yeah.
they franchise tagged him,
He did.
but he asked for a trade supposedly. Do you think they signed OBJ like to entice Lamar to stay, or do you think Lamar is mad because how you gonna pay him and not pay me?
Right. I think that it was a good move for them to kind of entice Lamar. But I was just having this conversation last weekend. Like, what is the deal? Like, what is the drama? You know, like with Lamar, I'm like, what did I miss? And my friends were like, nothing really. You know, it's just kind of is what it is at this point. And so Lamar is way too great and dynamic of a quarterback for him to not be on anybody's roster next year. So hopefully he kind of just does the deal with the Ravens again.
They
And
need to pay that man. Pay that man.
they do. I mean, they really do. I mean, we saw them pay Deshaun, you know, after everything that happened. His contract, the breakdown of it is actually better than Patrick Mahomes, and we saw them pay like through the bank at him. Like,
Right. Exactly.
yeah. So they just need to pay him, and they need to come to some kind of agreement. And I saw he was excited about OBJ coming, obviously. So I guess we'll see.
Nate, what do you think about this?
Like I said, I think Baltimore will take anybody, but I do think them two could get together could be a dynamic duo. So I do like them together, and I do like OBJ been hurt for like the last 2 3 years. Like I want to see him back on the field 100%. Like I want to see that one-handed catch in the end zone again. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But also, so he did recently win a ring with the Rams. But why do y'all think the Rams didn't re-sign him? Is he a PR nightmare maybe, or the injury? Because I thought the Rams would have, like, he helped y'all kind of get there, right?
Yeah. I guess it maybe just depends on the cap space. I don't really know why the Rams didn't re-sign him. I didn't really look into that too much, but
maybe because he keep getting hurt. Like has he literally has he played a full year in the last like 2 years, 2 3 years? I don't think so. So maybe is he too big of a risk? Maybe. Yeah. For all that money.
Well, hopefully this year, let's hope he stays injury free and Lamar signs back and Lamar shows them why they need to pay him that Patrick Mahomes money.
Right.
Okay. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is what, of course, everybody's been talking about, the Rudy Gobert and Kyle Anderson punch, which really wasn't a punch. When I looked at the video, the headlines be so misleading. I'm like, media, please stop.
Right.
Like, stop it. But
yeah, so, it looked more like a hard push, not even a move.
They was like, he had room to punch him. No, they don't know why he didn't. I'm like, he's at work, ma'am. He was at work.
He wasn't.
But yeah, so the two doing the incident on the bench, Rudy swung a punch at Anderson. The two had to be separated. Rudy was eventually sent home. And I guess the two were exchanging words before the physical contact. I heard through the grapevine that Anderson called Rudy the B word, which is a no-no. That's why he got the push. That's what I had heard.
Right.
But right when it happened, Patty Batty, Draymond Green, tweeted, insecurity is always loud, because back when Draymond had his drama with Jordan Poole, Rudy tweeted, insecurity is always loud. Yeah. So first of all, y'all think that was Patty?
It was.
You know, one thing about those tables, they always turn. So he was in a position to run it back and kind of remind him what was said when it happened with him. It was petty, but I mean,
he was waiting for his get back. He was waiting.
He was sitting back just waiting.
Waiting for their get back.
His PR person be working double time too. Draymond.
Woo! Blessed. That's all I'm gonna say. Blessed. Glad I never had to be in that kind of situation, because
that's so funny. But yeah, what are y'all thoughts on this incident? Do y'all think it was the pressure of them trying to get into the playoffs or the play-in. How would you have handled this situation if you were Rudy's PR person, Chelsea?
I mean, you can't fight your teammates, like, for everybody to see, because now we know that it's internal drama at the very least from the game, like from that day. It might have been something that stemmed way before, but nobody wins when the family feuds. So like, what are y'all doing? Like, what are you doing? From a PR standpoint, I don't even want to think about what I would have had to do, because I don't even want to bring that energy of having crisis management PR into my sphere. But it honestly is a PR nightmare, because what do? You clean it up, you put out a message about how you're sorry and you respect your teammates and X, Y, and Z, but like, you will be the laughing stock for the next year to two. Like,
oh, he or me.
Yeah.
But also I wanted to say he did put out an apology. Rudy Gobert, he did bring out an apology. And I was going to ask, are teammates off limits? Because it's like family.
Yeah.
When we was little and your mama say what goes on in this house, stay in this house. Like, that's how it should be.
Like, what are you doing? Why are you putting your hands on your teammate? Like,
He was
how did it get that serious?
He was projecting his anger on the wrong person. I was like, sir, you supposed to fight the other team. Over there. Like, remember that back in the day when that guy gave Kobe the 2-piece with the biscuits on the side? You supposed to do that to the other team, not your teammate, sir.
Yeah. You said somebody punched Kobe twice. Kobe Bryant?
Yes.
During the game? I don't remember that. I don't know where I was at.
I will send you the clip. He got a 2-piece and a biscuit on the side. Shannon Sharp was just talking about it on his show either last week or the beginning of this week. I'm surprised you didn't hear it. But yeah, I've been saw that video a long time ago though. But yeah, it was the other team though. It wasn't one of his teammates, sir. I don't understand. That's crazy.
Yeah. You have to be able to control yourself in these circumstances. Like, you're a professional athlete, you're playing on the highest field, like, kids, everybody's looking up to you, and you lose your cool on national TV. Like, what's really good? So
yeah, that's crazy. But that brings another question to mind. When you at work, yeah, you are supposed to be professional, but what if somebody tried you? Like, for example, I have a real life example. What I heard, I wasn't at the office that day, but I heard because I work at a bank. So a client came in, and everybody knows this is the problematic client, right? He's older, so older people, they don't care. Like, once you reach 70, you don't care. Right. So I guess he was looking to speak with a banker, and his banker was busy. So the person that greeted him was like sit, wait here or whatever. But he was trying to explain his inquiry to the greeter, and the greeter, I don't know why the greeter did this now. So this was wrong. The greeter just turned around and walked away while the man was still talking. And then, so of course, the man in front of the entire lobby and other clients, the man was like, "Don't turn your back on me, you SOB." Like, and said the words. And then the greeter turned around and said, "F you, MF, you the SOB." And I'm like, "No, you're going to get fired, sir." So he was at work today though, but we'll see. Yeah. They had to write him up. Of course, they had to write him up. Yeah. But yeah, what do you do in situations when people try you at work? Do you bite you bite or walk away?
Yeah.
Let's take it outside.
Right. So I feel like conversations are important to have, because at the end of the day, we're all adults. Luckily, so both businesses, it's a business. So I'm not an employee, like I'm a 1099er. So I kind of get to pick who I work with. And in situations where there's been like disagreements, not even like verbal altercations, but like maybe we're not seeing the same, eye to eye on the same subject or whatever, like we'll have a conversation sidebar. I'm not one for having like a whole confrontation, because Michelle said when they go low, we go high. No, I'm going low with you. Like, we about to both be down here, okay? Right. And so I don't ever want to lose my cool in a situation that makes me money, because you lose your cool, now it's going to cost you something. And most times it might cost you money. It might cost you, in y'all situation, like losing a client, losing the money that's, with the bank. So being able to maintain your cool is like the key of all keys, like the highest of key.
Yeah, I think the only scenario where you could possibly lose your cool, and even in this scenario, I think they lost some money, is if something happened to you, like murder or peace, as if like you are assaulted at work.
Yeah.
Then you have to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Even though he hit the wrong person, you still have to defend yourself. Okay. So, but yeah, if it's nothing like you getting assaulted and have to physically defend yourself, then I think like words, I don't know. I don't see how people get mad at words, but okay.
Yeah. Now, if it gets physical, that's a different conversation. But like altercations are like, okay, we gotta handle this.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. So now it's time for our highlight of the week. And I am giving it to South Carolina's Aaliyah Boston. She was the first pick in the 2023 WNBA draft. She's going to the Indiana Fever, and she was 2022's National Player of the Year and two-time National Defensive Player of the Year. So kudos to Aaliyah. We will be watching you on the big stage. So kudos to her. And Chelsea, tell everybody where they can find you, all your social medias and everything like that.
Yes. Kudos to her. Kudos to Dawn for having the top. What, she had 4 in the top 10?
I'm not sure the number, but you done.
South Carolina did their thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was exciting to see. So I can be found on Instagram at chelsea.s.phillips. That's CHELSEA.S.PHILLIPS. All my handles are the same. To email me, info@chelseasphillips.com. My website is chelseasphillips.com, and all of that good stuff.
Thank you so much. And make sure y'all check her out, and check out this episode as well on all platforms. Thank you so much, Chelsea, for taking out time of your schedule to talk to us. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you all so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.
Hey y'all, thanks for tuning into this week's episode of A Picture is Worth 1,000 Words with yours truly, the Fletcher Twins. Make sure you join us every week and rate, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit up our email at podcast.1000words@gmail.com with any questions or topics you'd like to hear us cover. Also, check us out on IG at the Fletcher Twins and Facebook at A Picture is Worth 1,000 Words.